Thanks for being with us here on Court TV Live. We are gearing up for the trial of alleged murder mastermind Donna Adelson. Her case set to begin on September 17th. In this hour, we're bringing you the best moments of her son Charlie's testimony during his trial, as we're wondering what he might say during his mother's case. Let's take a look at the first clip.
You had an opportunity to review your text messages from June 2nd to June 7th, 2014.
Yes, I have.
Anything in those text messages out of the ordinary?
No.
They're text messages about what types of subjects?
Work, personal life, just...
Anything about a first attempted murder in Tallahassee?
No, not at all.
Anything about any sort of violence?
No, not at all.
Anything about any sort of panic?
No, not at all.
I want to talk briefly about July 1, 2014. And just kind of to give you a roadmap, in March, you had dinner with your sister, correct?
Yes, at Yarborough.
And we've learned that at that dinner, Sigfredo Garcia thought about killing you.
Yeah, he was stalking me with Luis Rivera.
And we've learned through this trial that a first attempted murder on Professor Markel's life happened, give or take, 6 weeks later.
Yes.
Now let's talk about July 1, which is about 3 or 4 weeks after that. By the way, up until July 1, had you ever talked to, texted with, met Sigfredo Garcia?
No, not at all.
What happened on July 1?
July 1, I was going to take Katie jet skiing, and I had the jet ski attached to the car, and I drove to her place in Miami, and I went to pick her up, and I remember so well. I got flowers right before I picked her up. I bought flowers from the guy selling them in the middle of the street. And I picked Katie up, and we started driving out of her complex, and we got about 100, 200 feet, and this blue car comes flying out of nowhere, flies in front of us, and slams on the brakes. And I've got a car, and I'm towing a 1,200-pound jet ski behind it. And she started screaming, "That's T, that's T, that's T." And I'm like, I almost rear-ended this car, and this guy gets out of the car, and he comes over, and he's screaming every kind of four-letter word at me, threatening me. I mean, his face was real red. My windows were up, and the guy was going crazy. And you know, I'm kind of a little bit boxed in because the front of my car was almost against the rear of his car, so I couldn't drive past it. And I had a big jet ski and a trailer behind my car, so I ended up putting the car in reverse, doing like a little bit of a three-point turn, a little bit, swinging the car around. He then got in his car, chased alongside of us, and you can't, if you're towing a jet ski with a car, you can't go real fast, you don't have much acceleration. He was right alongside of us, rolled his window down, was screaming all this stuff at us, and when we got to the light, it was just turning yellow, and I gunned it, and I remember making a left-hand turn. And he goes, "Nuts." She goes, "He's really calmed down." And I go, "What do you mean he's calmed down?" And she goes, "The old T I know would have broken your window."
Now, that evening, by the way, let's talk about, you say T. Did you know Sigfredo Garcia under another nickname as well?
Yeah, well, she referred to him as T or Tuto.
Okay.
Or Sigfredo.
Now, that evening, did your father call you?
Yeah.
And what did your father say to you when he called you, Harvey? What did Harvey say to you when he called you?
He was worried about me
Why?
because he got a threatening message on his voicemail, and the guy was saying, you know, something to the effect of, next time I see you, it's going to be mano a mano. I am, something like that, and then hung the phone up.
Okay. Again, this was July 1, correct?
Yeah.
And this is now 17 days before Professor Markel was murdered, correct?
It was.
So we have Sigfredo Garcia thinking about killing you in March before the first attempt, right?
Yeah.
And now we have him threatening you and trying to run you off the road.
Remember that story about the extortion plot? Charlie Adelson telling the jury that he was the victim of this extortion plot. Okay, so we know the same attorney who represented Charlie, you saw questioning him there, is representing Donna. And we know Charlie's going to be testifying. He's being transported from prison in South Dakota all the way to Florida for this case. Wonder if he's going to still stick with this story, the grand extortion plot. Will that be the story that Donna tells? Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Jessica Mashali, licensed to practice in Florida. You've seen her in action representing Marsha Thompson, got a big win in that case. Oh, Jessica, the Adelsons, welcome to our world here, because this has been something that, I mean, since we launched Court TV, it's like incrementally we're hearing more and more about this case. First, prosecutors went after the gangbangers, and then it was Catherine McBanawan, and Catherine led them to Charlie, and Charlie led them to Donna. It's like they went after the low-hanging fruit first, and now we're going up that ladder. So what do you think, this extortion plot, do you think this will be the story this defense team tells at Donna's trial, or do you think they might abandon it and go with some other type of legal theory?
I don't think they can abandon it, honestly. That's my opinion as a criminal defense attorney, especially because they chose to use the same attorney. Right? So they're using the same attorney, and attorney's credibility does matter to a large extent in front of a jury, right? The jury judges everybody. They're using the same attorney. He's eliciting these questions, and he's making this argument for Charlie. Another point that I think is important to point out, though, is that if they stick with it, they only have to prove that Donna believed Charlie. They don't have to prove that all of those facts that, you know, Charlie's talking about are actually true. But those are things that Donna believed. And Donna, you know, was acting with the full belief in Charlie that those things were happening and that Charlie's life was in danger.
That's a really sharp point you just made there, Jessica. I mean, think about it. If he's the mama's boy and he's crying to mom, and we know they talk a lot. I like what you said there. If you're on the defense side, you go with, hey, she's just listening to her son. It's what he told her. That how was she to know? Oh, that's really interesting. We're going to watch for that. Jessica, tell us, you know, in terms of how friendly do you think Charlie will be to his mom? So along these lines, let's presume that they do stick with the story. And I think you made great points about Daniel Rashbaum's credibility, and maybe that's why Donna wants him. Maybe because she felt that he did such a fine job in the storytelling and the advocacy for Charlie that she wants him too. How do you think that the cross will go when Charlie's on the stand and it's his attorney and his mom's attorney who's cross-examining him?
So I would imagine that there's a plan, right? They have a plan as to what they're going to do, and Charlie's going to stick to that plan. So they're either deciding that Charlie is going to fall on the sword. He's already been convicted. He's already been sentenced. So he's just going to get up and say, you know what? Everything was not true what I said before. I did it. I'm responsible. My mom had nothing to do with it, and kind of try to save his mom. Now, If I'm the attorney, I don't think I'm recommending that because, again, Charlie has so little credibility, right? So the jury is just going to think, okay, at this point, he's saving his mom. He'll say anything to save his mom, right? We know the relationship that they have together, and we know Charlie's current situation, having already been convicted. So the other side is for him to sort of hone in on what he said at trial and really emphasize that these are the things he was telling his mother, right? So his mother, who is, we know very well, loyal and loving and close to her children, protective of her children to a fault, right? Which, you know, she hasn't been likable, but that could, again, pivot a little bit, could become a very likable character trait to a jury, right? And so Donna believing everything Charlie says, if he sticks to that, it becomes, you know, arguably understandable, her behavior.
A great analysis. Jessica Mashali, thank you much. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Charlie Adelson and how he discusses his relationship with his sister Wendy when he's on the witness stand, and also talks about what life was like when Wendy and victim Danny Markel were married.
I think he was a ticking time bomb.
Chaos in a courtroom as a defendant goes after a judge.
And now faces a jury for attempted murder.
The Judge Jumper attempted murder trial. Live coverage today, only on Court TV.
Donna Adelson is facing charges of murder, the death of her former son-in-law.
This is terrible. Now that Donna has turned into a defendant, what's next for the Adelson clan?
The Matriarch Mastermind Murder Trial begins September 17th on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. And during this hour, we're revisiting the testimony of defendant Charlie Adelson. In the clip you're about to see, he's on cross, and the state's asking him about his relationship with Catherine McBenowa.
10:30:15, you tell her you miss her. 12:09 of 15, again, you tell her she's the best.
Yeah, I said all those things.
Do you agree that this picture does not look like a relationship between an extortionist and her victim?
I agree, because Katie wasn't the extortionist.
She was the extortionist.
In 2014 and 2015, I didn't believe that.
I know you didn't believe it, but we're looking back now, okay?
You know, it's like if you're going to quote me, date me. Like at what I knew in 2014 and what I knew in 2015 is not what I know now in 2023.
Okay, yes, I hear you. You didn't know then, and that's why you were nice to her.
Yeah, I thought she was protecting me.
Got it. And none of those factors that I pointed out weighed into that consideration, that she ran her mouth, that she brought the Latin Kings on you, she was taking the money from you. None of that counterbalanced it. You were still going to be friends with her and keep her happy.
You're wrong. I didn't know about the Latin Kings in 2014 or 2015.
All right. The love text, which is what I'm referring to all these texts, where you're still nice to this person after you break up with her. You're still doing favors for this person after you break up with her. I mean, that's like a major problem for your defense, isn't it?
No, our relationship got stronger. I agree. Our relationship got stronger, but it was much different.
Isn't that why she has to be an innocent conduit between you and the bad guys? Because if those texts didn't exist, she would be the extortionist and a bad actor in this whole thing, right?
I'm not following your theory.
You have to explain away those texts, don't you, Doctor?
No, I have to sit here and tell you the truth. And now you're finding it out.
Most people don't send kissy faces to people that are extorting money out of them. I mean, she was taking your money.
Again, Ms. Kappelman, she was not extorting me at the time.
That's not how it's done, is it?
I'm telling you how it was done.
So then over these next 2 years, you would meet her monthly and hand over a bundle of checks and $3,000 in cash, right?
No, you're wrong.
Okay, tell me.
I would hand over $2,000 in cash and a bundle of checks.
$2,000 in cash and a bundle of checks. And so over the course of 2 years, I'm terrible at math, but that's roughly how much money? Because I think I did $3,000. It's $48,000 in cash, in addition to the $138 you provided the night of. Do you agree with that?
If your math is correct, I'm just telling you what I paid her each month.
And And the checks, which is another $17,000, right?
You're doing the math.
Okay. It was a lot of money. Was it a lot of money to you?
It was a lot of money to me, yeah. I work hard.
Did the extortionists, whoever they were, ever try to increase the payments or come for more money?
The extortion never went up, and Katie was always broke. And that's what led me to think that she was not a part of this, because she could have easily jacked up the payments.
Well, she's sharing $3,000 a month with a bunch of other people, right? At least one other person.
I didn't think she was sharing it. Why is she coming to me for $300 for her kid's birthday?
Because she's broke.
Because she wasn't getting any of the money.
Half of $3,000 doesn't do much when you're living in Miami with 2 kids to feed, right?
I didn't think she was sharing anything.
Well, even if she was sharing, if that's your point, she must not have been taking the money because she was broke. And my point is, she could have been taking half the money and been broke.
That's not how I saw it.
It's not a lot of money.
That's not how I saw it.
Have you been a good brother to Wendy?
I've always tried to be a good brother.
It sounds like maybe you're not agreeing that this was a really nasty divorce, or are you agreeing it was a nasty divorce?
I mean, I don't think any divorces can be pleasant, but I think they definitely had their fights. I mean, they were fighting over bicycles and all kinds of crap.
But in addition to that, Dan Markel accused your sister of fraud, right?
He made an accusation, yeah.
Threatened her with federal kidnapping charges.
Oh, that's a new one. You just told me.
That one's in the emails that are in evidence. Did you review those?
I didn't review the federal kidnapping charges in this case.
Was seeking contempt proceedings. You heard about that here in court, yes?
I heard about that, yeah.
Even went after her lawyer personally, right?
He made serious threats against her lawyer.
And her bar card could have been in jeopardy if any of those, or some of them.
I heard the other day she was saying that, I guess her lawyer, he was threatening her lawyer's bar card.
Her lawyer's bar card as well as Wendy's.
He was making lots of threats and writing lots of stuff, I guess.
And he messed with your mom too, didn't he, in that grandma motion? You know which one I'm talking about?
I don't think he was messing with my mom. I mean, nobody took that seriously, and I don't think anyone even knew about it.
Isn't your mom, I'm sorry, finish.
I said I don't think anyone even knew about it till years later.
Isn't your mom notorious for always getting worked up about everything?
She gets upset. I mean, she's a concerned mom. I mean,
but is she notorious for getting really worked up about everything?
To a certain extent. I mean,
aren't those your own words from Call S that's in evidence in this case?
Yeah, those aren't my words, but you can't, not to an extreme, but she does worry, especially when like Latin King gang members are extorting her for money.
Did your mom take the grandma motion seriously?
I don't think she even knew about it.
She didn't talk to you about it?
No, I didn't find out about it till years later.
Wasn't this divorce a big deal in your family?
It didn't affect my life, I can tell you that. So I don't think that's true. I think it was a big deal in my sister's life.
Why did Wendy testify that she was getting along well with Dan Markel just prior to his death? Can we agree that's not true?
I think there were ups and downs in how they got along. I mean, you got to ask her. She was on the stand. I mean, I wasn't living her life.
Is it part of your defense to minimize how nasty and contentious this divorce was?
My defense is to tell the truth.
Did you have any input on the decision to change the boys' names from Markel to Adelson?
Absolutely not.
Do you and Donna have to protect Wendy?
No.
Does Wendy appreciate everything you and Donna do for her?
You got to ask her. I mean, she's my sister. I love her. I try to give her my best advice I can. If I care about her, and I give her my advice, whether she takes it or not, is up to her. She's a grown woman.
Let me ask it another way. Do you feel, or isn't it true that you don't feel that Wendy appreciates everything you and Donna do for her?
And my sister had no idea what I've been through in the last God knows how many years. And I wake up worrying, am I going to get killed? Am I going to get arrested? And she knows none of it. She's just going around her life, and I had somewhat of an innate anger towards her, you know, probably unjust because she didn't know what happened. But yeah, I was upset.
And weren't you saying on the wire that she doesn't appreciate what you and Donna have done for her?
I don't know if I said that she doesn't appreciate what I've done for her, because I never did anything for her.
Okay, so that was my next question. What have you done for her? Nothing?
Other than give her advice and care about her, be a big brother that loves her. Like,
would you say Wendy's a little bit spoiled?
In some regards, I mean, she gets a lot of help, for sure.
Is she a little less savvy about how the world works than you are?
I don't know. I mean, you got to ask her.
Could you trust Wendy with a secret that could ruin your life?
It's not a secret. It's something that would get me killed, so I didn't want to tell her.
Can we agree that she obviously knew something about this crime?
She found out when she came to court. I never told her anything.
I'm talking about the murder of Dan Markel. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
You're talking about the route that she took that day?
I'm talking about her pulling up to the crime scene tape.
She never went to the crime scene. She was going to buy a bottle of liquor that coincidentally the person sent her a stop the bar party for buy a bottle of bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene. And I think she made that clear too. Nobody knew a murder was taking place.
She pulled up to the crime scene tape, Dr. Adelson.
She didn't pull up to the crime scene tape. She was driving down the street and then had to make a U-turn. It was blocked off. But she wasn't going to.
She couldn't help herself.
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot, and they were asking her who would want him dead, and she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.